Party with your host, Dustin Rybka.
Hello and welcome to Sex Party. I'm your host, Dustin Rybka. With me on the show this week is adult star, OnlyFans creator, AVN nominated Taylor Vixen. Taylor and I are going to chat all about how in her first marriage, she was feeling repressed. She was working an executive corporate job. She was feeling very unfulfilled, which led her slowly but surely to a new partner and entering the lifestyle, swinging and non-monogamy, sex parties, all the things, which led to OnlyFans, which then led to mainstream porn. She's been in mainstream porn for less than a year. She has been nominated multiple times for multiple things from multiple places. She is gearing up to do some DP, some gangbangs, blowbangs, anal. It's all coming now in her entering her second year of porn. We talk about her mom swap scene and all the taboo things that come from that. It's an amazing episode. You guys are going to love Taylor. So without further ado, please enjoy my conversation with Taylor Vixen.
This week's conversation.
Taylor Vixen, welcome to Sex Party. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I am undecided. I don't know how I'm doing. I'm doing wonderful and confused all at the same time. But you know, that's what you get. So, okay, you and I bumped into you once or twice at AVN. We were trying to make this happen. Here we are. Yep. It's finally here. I'm sure the audience is super pumped, you know, your crowd, the sex party crowd, everyone's excited. But let's say, you know, maybe somebody has a terrible memory. Like maybe they they've mixed LSD with Coke too many times. They had a scuba accident and their brain just doesn't work very well, right? Could you talk a little bit about who you are and what you do for those people?
Sure. Well, I am in the adult industry, mattress actress, if you will. It's my second life, I could say. I spent about 20 years as a corporate executive, so just under 20 years as a corporate executive. So this is kind of my, like I said, second life. So I've only been in the industry for not even quite a year yet. So it's all relatively new for me. And you guys have probably seen me on, you know, Brazzers, Naughty America, Team Skeet, New Biles, New Sensations is coming out, and I've just got a lot of really cool MILFs very, very soon. That's very exciting for me too. So, and I've got a lot of other big studio productions coming up these next few months. So you just never know when stuff's going to be released. So
yeah, that's the thing with porn, right? Is like you record a bunch of stuff and it's like, where the hell is that scene? Well, okay, so you just name dropped a ton of like the major studios, right? And so you've only been in not even quite a year, and
Yep.
and we'll get to like how you got in and all that shit later because I hate to do that in the beginning. I think it's so boring. But we're just gonna mix it up. But like, I mean, how did you hit that many? Did they all just come calling, or were you on OnlyFans, or like what? You know, what was the thing that kind of put you over the top that made Brazzers and Naughty America and Milfy, like in your first year out, come recruit you?
Yeah, super exciting. Well, you know, honestly, I didn't even do a ton of social media besides like Facebook and stuff prior to 2024. But I kind of, you know, in 2023, I kind of started really getting into my Instagram and started posting stuff there. Obviously, everything very PG, as you know, crazy as you can get on Instagram. And my Instagram just like literally went through the roof. And then I kind of decided at the beginning of last year, so the beginning of 2024, that, okay, I'm gonna maybe start an OnlyFans. And I think I started my OnlyFans in like March of 2024. So not even about a year, almost a year. And so I just kind of started posting things that are more like a little bit more risque. And so I kind of met Kieran Lee through Instagram. And so he was a big catalyst for me, as far as we were just chatting on, doing a collab and stuff like that. So I just kind of switched over. I kind of got discovered, I would say, by the people in the corporate world. They didn't like the fact that because basically I advertise my OnlyFans on my Instagram, because that's what you do. And it all came out pretty quick, pretty crazy. So I kind of had to decide, I made a decision to move over to, and quit my job. So I kind of was outed, if you will. So here I am. And it literally was like wildfire. At first I didn't even know I was going to do mainstream. People said, "What are you going to do mainstream?" And I said, "What's mainstream?"
Right.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So you were working like a corporate job. Okay. And then so were you sneaking around with an OnlyFans or?
Not really. I mean, I just kind of started it right at the end. And so, but I was advertising on my Instagram. So not everybody discovers your OnlyFans, but a lot of people can discover your Instagram. So I don't know. I probably was at a corporate retreat and I, posted whatever hotel I was at. And I think there was a situation where I did like a little lifestyle thing, and I met a guy from one of the sites at my hotel, and I filmed it while I was at a corporate event.
Okay.
So I might have promoted it a little bit. So, I started to I honestly, like, with Facebook and stuff and being the lifestyle, I've been so hidden for so long. And I finally was just like, I'm done with this. I'm ready to just be out there. And so I kind of just like opened the floodgates and was like, screw it, I'm going to put it out there.
Well, that's fucking awesome. First of all, let's say we have some noobs here, and we love noobs. We love people who are just like, how did I get here onto this wacky podcast, right? Will you describe what the lifestyle is, just so they know, just in case?
Yeah, sure. Well, lifestyle is, what everybody refers to as swingers. Lifestyle is kind of like a little more incognito term for it, for people that are somewhat in the know. And, it's a lot. It's a lot of different things for a lot of different people. It can mean, people that are literally completely open in their relationship and they just have multiple boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever, people that are in polyamorous lifestyle, situations. A lot of it, for the most part, I would say the bulk of it is people that are in monogamous relationships, but also have, sex with other people, as you could say. And then there's a lot of people that are in lifestyle that just, they don't really do anything with anybody else. They're exhibitionists, or they like to be, they like to be watched, or they like to watch other people, and they just like to be in this sexy environment, just that they feel free to not have judgment of like fetish things. So it can be all kinds of things. So I think it evolves for most people. Like it evolves for me. It starts off like, oh, we're just going to go to the sexy party. And then before you know it, 6 months later, you're, sucking a guy's dick in a glory hole.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait. We found something. Okay. Sucking a guy's dick in a glory hole, like in real life or for porn? Or like was like a fun party glory hole?
No, in real life. Yeah. Like there's like a lot of the parties, some of the good ones at least, they have different theme rooms, playrooms, if you will. And some of them have, like, we went to one event and they had like a glory hole room, and they even had like reverse glory holes for girls, which was pretty cool. It was like, good time was had by all.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. Was that party at someone's house or like some club or
hotel? Most of them are
hotel.
These like kind of like takeovers. It's usually a couple nights, usually on the weekends. So it'll be people arrive on Friday and then they have parties Friday, Saturday night, and then leave Sunday. That's how most of them work. Some 2 nights is about all you can take of that.
It's a lot. There's a lot happening. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to paint this picture, you're working this corporate gig, you're working this corporate job, you're in the lifestyle. How long? Like, first of all, how long had you been in the lifestyle, right? And like, what does that mean to you? Were you married? Did you have a partner and you guys were swinging, or like what was the lifestyle for you?
Yeah, married, probably about 7 years. So it kind of evolved a little bit. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just, I didn't used to, prior to the lifestyle, I didn't really like sex that much. So, or not really at all. So
Really?
yeah, I was with someone else besides my, my husband. And I just, when you're with somebody that doesn't really, very selfish, I guess you could say. And just, I didn't really know about like fantasies. I didn't really think about that kind of stuff. I wasn't even, that prior didn't even want me to have a vibrator. So like I use my little electronic toothbrush. I would say I was sexually repressed. Now I'm like making up for lost time. Now I'm just like, ugh.
So you were married. You're no longer married.
No, I'm married.
Oh, you are married. Okay. So you're with this person and then you get introduced somehow to this. How did you get introduced to the lifestyle? Like what was the origin story there?
It was more like, and he wasn't in the lifestyle prior to me either. But we just kind of were talking about like fantasies, like, bed talk. Right.
Sure.
And so, we would be having sex and he would talk about like, we would talk about other girls, cause I like girls. And then we would talk about like, he would start talking about other guys. And I always thought like he was trying to trap me. Like I thought he'd be like, oh, aha, I knew it.
Gotcha.
Other guys. So I was always scared at the beginning and I would change the subject back to other girls because that was like a safe discussion for me. I'm like, oh, let's bring a girl and, that kind of stuff. And so, but it was crazy because when he would talk to other guys, like I'd come really fast. Like, so I'd be like, oh, I was just learning all these things that turned me on. And so that's kind of how we started, just sex talk in the bedroom. And then so we decided to kind of start exploring some of that stuff. We found like a sex club. We found some groups on Facebook. And then before you know it, I was hosting swinger parties. So
I mean, see, this is amazing because what you're describing is the power of role play. And I think for every relationship, I think you're right. I think there are some relationships that just ignore the role play factor completely. Yeah. And that's just so fucking boring, right? And it's like,
my prior husband had no idea.
Yeah. And even if you don't necessarily, take it to the party or like go to the glory hole or like do porn or whatever, just role playing for some couples is enough, but it does up the level of like horniness and coming that you get from doing that.
For sure, because I think a lot of people are really insecure. Guys, I think guys especially, probably guys more than females. Females are as well, but I think the role play can you can step out of that insecurity because, you can pretend you're somebody else or you can kind of I think it helps people let those walls down and kind of get into that like sexy discussion, that all of a sudden you realize your guys are both turned on and it comes out to be a really positive thing for your sex life. So
yeah. So when you discovered that this was like a turn on thing, and you said that you would start talking about, you like tiptoed into talking about other guys, but it made you come really fast. How long did it take before you guys were exploring like, okay, maybe we should try it? Like did you have to build trust with each other? Was it like, what are our boundaries, or did you just fucking go for it?
Well, I mean, I would say we kind of went for it, but we didn't all of a sudden just like start having sex with people. Like you kind of start, you go to a party and they'll be like, you kind of start messing around a little bit. And then, you just evolve as far as what you'll do. But yeah, I mean, there's always discussion of boundaries, what we like, what we don't like. You go into any experience and you're like, that was weird, or we like that, or we didn't know we would like that. So, but everybody else is that you meet is also at different stages of so it's really hard. When you're in a couple, like with multiple couples, so it's like, say it's 2-on-2, it's really hard to meet another couple that you totally vibe with, that like, we talk about it being like a 12-way connection. Like I got to like the girl. She has to like me. She has to like me liking her man. He has to like, my man liking his girl. It's just, and everybody's got to get along for the most part. So it's a really difficult, 4-way. That's why like single guys or single girls are a lot easier because there's only 3 people.
Yeah. And I feel like that's like unicorn shit. Like there's a single woman going to a fucking swinger or sex party is like a unicorn. That's why
it is. It's very much unicorn. They don't exist.
And if they do, it's like they don't for very long because someone comes along.
There's always some sort of big issue there, but it's a story for another time.
Of course. So do you remember going to your first? Was it a sex party or a swingers party?
I think it was a swingers club in Texas. Okay. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we just kind of ventured in there one night. I had no idea what to expect, but it was nice. It was fun. I mean, we this is kind of a funny story. So we didn't really get with anybody that night. It wasn't really that crowded, but they have all these upstairs. So they have a big, a bar. You have to bring in your own alcohol. So, but they have all the setups and stuff. And then they have a DJ. So it's fun. It's fun. They kind of have couches, but then the playrooms in this particular club were upstairs. And so you kind of walk up there and there's beds side by side with these little sheer curtains, right? So we didn't know what we were doing. So there wasn't a lot of people. And this particular club, I think certain nights they allow God. There was a couple guys in there, but you have to, I think the single guys have to be invited into certain areas. But so we decided we're screw it. We're just going to have sex, right? If people watch us, great. We'll just figure it out. And so, if you saw what I saw right now, you would be freaking out. So I did the little I was like, oh my God. There was a lady, she must have been a very large lady, probably 400 plus pounds in this white lingerie. She was just at the end of the bed, peering through the curtains. She looked like she was about to just dive head first, right on top of us. And my husband was just
Wow.
But that's what happens at those sex clubs, though. I mean, especially here, we've gone to one in Vegas, a real famous one in Vegas, and it's just it's just vultures. And the last time we went here, not that long ago, and I said, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna give them a show.
Zombies, That's fucking awesome. So the one you went to in Texas with the large person that was was about to sumo pounce, whatever.
Yes.
Was that your first experience?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing is people don't realize you can go to these things and I say this all the time. I actually encourage people just to go and chill, just go and hang out, right? Have a drink, whatever. I think everyone thinks that they have to go and they have to do something. You don't. You can kind of peer around and, and whatever. And you're right. I mean, there are different people are in their different phases of their relationship, and it is kind of, so how long did you keep going to these clubs, and how long till you kind of found what your vibe was before you were okay, this is.
Yeah, so we got on some sites. The thing you do is typically there's sites when you go into these clubs, the different sites that they have so you can meet people, kind of like a dating site for swingers, right? And a lot of them have crossed over. Now even the regular dating sites, you can meet couples and things like that. So they come in and they talk to people, and it's all about promoting their site. But we got on some sites, and then we got in some Facebook groups, and that's where we really took off. Is we found some groups that were groups of people that we liked. So everybody's got their own kind of group of people that they get along with. So we found a couple really good groups. Texas has a really good lifestyle scene, Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Houston, and then Florida is also a really big lifestyle scene. So lived in Texas for most of my life, and then we lived in Florida for 3 years. One of the reasons why we moved out there was because we knew a lot of people out there. We went to Secrets all the time. I highly recommend that place. It's badass. It's in Orlando. If anybody wants to go, it's great because they have a huge pool. They've rebuilt the whole place. And you basically hang out by the pool all day, hang out, beautiful Florida, sip drinks and just people watch all day, and then the party at night, and they do different themes. So if you just want to like hang out with your significant other, or if you want to full on, orgy in the hotel room, it's everywhere in between. So that's kind of where we really took off in the lifestyle for us. So
yeah, because you have to feel comfortable. You can't like, that first experience compared to like hanging around the pool and watching other people go bonkers or whatever is the difference between what is going on here and, oh, this feels cool. We could fucking do this or that. I think your nervous system has to have a chance to like kind of like reset or like set in that, you are in a safe spot and there isn't fucking.
I mean, it's cool. Like one of the first experiences that we had was like a really young, like a couple much younger than us, but they had been together since like high school and they had like 2 kids and whatever. And so we were really new. And they were just telling us like they did like, they do separate room stuff. And we, at the time, were like, I can't believe they would do that. Why would anybody want to do that? But then afterwards talking to them, we totally got it. Like they had only been with each other for their entire life, like nobody else ever. So when they started in the lifestyle, they were like, we've never had this dating experience. We've never been with anybody else. So for them, it was a really cool experience because they've never had to do that. So it really helped. I didn't want to say save their marriage because that's not what the lifestyle about. It's not saving your marriage, but it enhances your marriage because these are those times when, they might be tempted to go want to know what that's like. They can do that and still, love their significant other and not, technically cheating, I guess.
Yeah, well,
that's the good world,
Yeah, no, for sure. And then that's the thing too, and it brings me to the $64,000 question, which is like, everyone's human, everyone has varying degrees of jealousy. You always hear women, I guess civilian, normal women who are just like not in OnlyFans, not in porn. Now, like I would get too jealous. I'd kill a bitch or like blah 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 blah. And dudes are like, I'll punch the wall or whatever.
Yeah.
And jealousy comes up, right? So did it come up for you guys? And also when it does, if it did come up and however it came up, how do you handle it? The jealousy aspect.
Gosh, I mean, I think jealousy is always going to be there. It is about how you handle it. I mean, we talk about stuff, what we like, what we don't like. I mean, jealousy's, if you don't have some sort of jealousy, I mean, I don't think that's normal. But at the end of the day, if it's truly about your partner and wanting them to have experiences, and that's what it's about, right? Because that's why I like to watch and he likes to watch. But if you're doing a couple of things, you can't watch and be in the moment at the same time. So that's why it's always real challenging. So if it's really about the other person, and it really is for us, then you get through it and you say, okay, well, we didn't like that. Let's try this differently. Or maybe let's try this. We didn't think to do it this way. But for people that don't really care about their partner, and sometimes they don't really find that out and they think they do and then they don't. It's about them. It's like a lot of guys, they just want to get with other girls and they're like, we hear this all the time and you probably have too. They're like, my wife doesn't like other cocks. And I'm like, yeah, dude, keep telling yourself that. She don't like any other cocks. It's like, and then you see the girl, she's like, no, I only like my husband. And you're like, oh my God, red flag, move along.
Yeah, because at some point that's just going to explode like a fucking car wreck. Like it's just going to blow up. And when somebody does like hit on her because they're confused, they don't know the dynamic or whatever, and she's more open to it, or I mean, that's just like a bad setup. I mean, I think to entertain, to really truly be a mature person, whether you like it or not, to entertain any kind of open anything in a relationship, you have to be open to it. Being open in both directions, at least be open to it, It
does go both directions because we've known a lot of guys that it's about they just have girls, right? And a lot of people start there and that's totally fine. And there are those couples that's all they want to do. But at some point it progresses to where the girl, the partner, all of a sudden, she's in her head going, well, why don't I ever get any guys? Or all of a sudden the husband spends a little bit too much time with that one, not giving her enough attention. And, when they're all in the moment and then all of a sudden it's like the straw that broke the camel's back and then they're at a weird point,
Yeah. So for you guys, was that just easy to balance because your communication was so good or what?
Yeah, it was easy for us to balance because it's just something that we enjoyed, and that was what our social life was. Outside of our normal like work day to day stuff, and
Sure.
that was where our friends were. That was where, and it's funny because once you really get in that environment, it wasn't as much about the sex. It was about more just the fun for us. We enjoyed being around people that were open minded, fun, like minded, that weren't judgmental. It's like if I wore this top like out to like I mean, now granted I live in Vegas, but like in Florida, like where we lived, if I wore this, like I would just be getting like I could just feel the haters, just like
Yeah.
soaking them. So you get sick of that. You don't even want to be in that environment anymore. So, and we all are, right? But it's like we just found ourselves being like, we don't even want to go out to a local bar. We want to go, we want to find at least go, not necessarily go to a sex club, but we would much rather go hang out with people that, at least in a vanilla environment, that are other, and lifestyle too, because the girls would be like, oh, babe, you look so hot, that kind of stuff. It's more
Yeah.
support, like females, especially because we know we can all get a little, but females, especially in the lifestyle, are very supportive of other females, very supportive, like lifting people up and not judging and, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And you need that. I just think you need that energy just feels better with everybody. Everybody's kind of like cool. And it's not like,
Yep.
hey, did somebody in a fucking parking lot of the tavern, like, did you fucking look at my wife? You want to fuck my wife? You know what I mean? Like, you could just tell them, yeah, I do. Like, what's up, or whatever when you're in the other. So I just feel like there's more. And that's the thing.
That's in the lifestyle is, you're not leaving here without fucking my wife. What was that movie?
You get back here, fuck my wife. Hell yeah, that's fucking awesome. Yeah.
That was the movie with Will Ferrell, and it was so funny.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is such an underrated comedy classic. Like,
it's so funny.
It's so good. I love that fucking movie.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, for real. But it's crazy because like doing this show for 3 years, you have people that kind of like come and talk to you in the DMs all of a sudden that may have been on your social media or whatever. They're not connected to anything, and they're like, oh, I have the story, and like I've had that experience a lot where it's like, wait a minute. Y'all are swinging? How long has this been going on? And they're like, oh, we've been doing it for a long, everybody does it. And I'm like, so that's one thing that I've learned, that people are a staggering amount of people, more than that's public, that are like, open about it, are in some sort of like lifestyle thing, because people get fucking bored and want some excitement,
Yeah. And there's people that are in it that don't claim that they're in it as well. It's like, what was the Mormon lives or whatever, or people that are not even realizing that's what they're doing, right? So even people that just want people to watch them or like to be watched, I mean, technically that's lifestyle, anything other than just you two always, is lifestyle. But you know what? I moved from a country club when I lived like before, like my last husband, we lived in like stuffy country club. And you know what? I didn't even know what swinging was. I thought it was like Eyes Wide Shut. Where judgmental. All the husbands were cheating on their wives. All the wives hated their husbands. And they were just in these miserable, for the most part, they were in these like miserable marriages. They were all unhappy. And it's just like, I just thought that that's kind of the way that it was, I mean, but it doesn't have to be.
Well, you found another way, so that's great.
I did.
Yeah.
So, but it's funny though. I would say somewhat numb to stuff, and especially now being in porn. So like I did a scene the other day with Team Skeet, and they are known for being a little bit risque from time to time, right? So It was a mom swap, and it was two guys of age. They're 20 over 21, and it was my neighbor, and we were friends, and they brought their sons over, and we had to. The scene was they were kind of nerd. They were very nerdy, so they were dressed very nerdy. They look like they're like 15 in this. I mean, they just.
Sure. Yeah.
It was Parker Sims and Mighty D. And so we did this little clip, and I posted it on Instagram. It was like, I kiss her son, she kisses my son, we kiss each other, and then we kiss our own sons. It was just like a quick little reel. and I put it on Instagram, and the haters came out. Oh my God, you smut trash. I mean, I got every comment you could imagine. And I'm just thinking, like, do you guys really think that this is real? Like, people do. People take everything you post as like, like, do you really think that this is my neighbor's or son and this is my son and I'm actually like putting this on there? It's like, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind what and then they think that's real. They think that like I'm promoting like incest or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we talk about the daughter swap, the mom swap shit all the fucking time on the show. I fucking love it. I think it's fucking awesome. I think that exploring taboo shit like that is just like fun, you know, and whatever. I actually had a clip that went a little viral where I was talking about how I need like a daughter swap or a mom swap hoodie to wear to the next like AVN or to Exotica or something. And they were like, give us your address. We'll send you a box.
I love it.
Shout out to Team Skeet. We love Team Skeet. Yeah. We love Team Skeet. So was your scene, did you swap back with your own quote unquote son?
We did. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of the premise. So we did swap back, and I didn't even know till I got there kind of how we were doing it. I thought it was just other room, but it was all like same room. So that was pretty. It's pretty hot.
Yeah. And I think that is like, you know, that is so psychologically like groundbreaking. And I feel like people don't give this shit enough like credit in porn that, you know, porn is able to take you to places that you can't fucking go with anywhere else. And to be that intricate where it's like, oops, my dick touched, you know, whatever. And now a little bit more and a little bit more. And it's like, whoever is like writing that, producing that, you know, acting in it, which is you, like that, it all has to be done a certain way in order to trigger that psychological, like, you know, horniness and make people fucking come that are watching it. And that's some intricate shit, you know? And so again, I think that people just discount, oh, it's just porn and it's cheap trash or whatever. And that's like, porn deserves especially taboo porn deserves so much more credit than it gets, because it allows everyone to explore these fucking little things, you know?
We had a fun time. It was fun filming.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy that people are like, oh my God, now she's fucking her own son, like on online. Do you respond to them or no?
No, you know, I know that there's a lot of keyboard warriors out there, as you do too. It's really hard. You know, I always get, everybody always gets haters, you know, but I think it was because I put it as a reel on Instagram. And then I think it somehow I've been really good recently with Instagram about not getting my account back, if you will, and not putting stuff that's too racy. And it actually, as the last 6 months have gone along, I actually have seen my stuff get more exposure because I'm not flagged anymore at the moment. And so I was so scared. I'm just like, I left it up for a little while and I just said, you know, these people, I wanted to post something and say, do you guys really think that that's really what this is? But you know what? Those people's minds aren't going to be changed, you know, as in politics, as in anything. It's just, you sometimes have to just say, I'm not going to change your mind. If they are taking it upon themselves to write this stuff, they've already, like, nothing I say is going to help the situation. Now, in hindsight, when I posted it, I probably should have put a disclaimer, like, you know, no puppies were harmed in the filming of this. But what's funny is that the guys were tagged. So you could go click on their accounts and see that they are performers. They're not, you know, we're all 4 different people. We're not related. It's
yeah. Well, they're not going to do all that homework. Yeah. It's too much work for them. They just want to, I think regardless like of what it is, whether it's like politics or porn, they're going to want to fucking, exercise that, and then once they get it out, then they move on to the next thing. They're not going to listen to anything. It's like they don't have a point, you know, they just want to be dicks. And for the sake of being dicks. And I think
I'm like, just follow me. It's fine.
And they probably did too. A lot of them probably did. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so well, that's fucking awesome. What an awesome story! I love that shit. That's so funny.
I was just like, but what I'm saying is like a lot. I'm numb to some of that stuff. I mean, I don't think it's even a big deal. Some of this stuff, I don't think it's a big deal, and so it's just I forget. You know, when you're in this industry, you get just numb to some of this stuff. Meaning, it's just not that big of a deal. You know, you let it fly off the whatever. You take everything with a grain of salt. You appreciate even stuff that's not for me, like fetish stuff that's not my thing.
Sure.
Like I just get very non-judgmental. You know, granted, there's some funny stuff out there. There's some really funny stuff, and I laugh, but I don't judge. Everybody likes their own thing, and a lot of people, you know, I think a lot of people haven't found their thing that they like because, you know, if you're not exposed to something. You know, you can't help what turns you on. Now, we're not talking about the illegal stuff or anything like that, but, you know, we're talking about fetish stuff and turn-ons and fantasies. And that's something that I've really been able to explore this last, 7 years. And so until you're exposed to something, you have mind are going to react to it. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun exploring new things and finding out new little taboo things that I like. So.
Well, and you're able to do it in such a safe environment where obviously everyone's like tested and whatever, but also they're professionals and you're with a crew of people and everyone is there to make a professional product. So you can explore these sort of like fetishes and like fun little kinks and little whatever. And that's what I was going to ask you too, is like the taboo stuff is so popular. I mean, you always see like family shit, fucking stepmom, whatever, like doing a scene like a mom swap thing. Are you letting yourself like be turned on by the taboo-ness of that while you're in the scene? Are you letting yourself get into character and like being horny about that? Or are you someone who's like, oh, I'm just doing it because it's a job?
No, absolutely. I've been on the most amazing shoots. I definitely always have a great time. So I always try to, now obviously when it's a new experience, like that was a new experience for me. Now I've been with a lot of young guys. So, you know, the young thing wasn't an issue for me because, you know, as long as they're legal, I like them.
Well, that's a great attitude. I love that attitude. Yeah. I mean, people make so much fucking noise about that stupid bullshit. Like,
I mean, if I can get two and they don't equal my age together, that's the best.
I love that. I love that so much. Okay. So let's like dip back into the OnlyFans a little bit. When did you start the OnlyFans? And like, was it something you did just to chronicle your lifestyle experiences or did it come later?
Yeah. So a lot of the stuff I had, like the content was lifestyle stuff, but a lot of stuff I can't put on there because, you know, you've got to have, releases and I don't even know how to get a hold of some of these people, but there's some good juicy bits on there from my lifestyle. That's what I try to you know, I have done some collabs with other creators, but I try to keep it and I'm kind of going to continue to do that more, is just do more lifestyle stuff because that's what people want to see. They want to see real life stuff. So if I go to a hotel event and I that one I did, I was in Boston and I set up FaceTime and that's how I recorded it. I set up my camera and I FaceTimed my husband and so the video is literally just a FaceTime recording. So, but it's kind of hot that way because it was a real life, like never met this guy, met him on a site, was like, let's meet up. And it was just like, it was fun. It was a fun experience, really fun experience. And it was just so fun knowing like, so I'm going to try to do more stuff like that, you know, fan meets from time to time, you know?
Yeah. People love that. I mean, obviously, right? The fans always want to try to fucking, but like, that's really innovative. Like to record it as a FaceTime video and then like pop it up there like that. Like that's like people want that realism. Even if like your other content's like polished or whatever, like every now and again you got to throw something like that. And like I think that's really innovative. That's fucking awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, my old stuff is all like, it's like landscape portrait.
Yeah, for
It's all
sure.
pieced together, but it was never meant to be released like that. It was only filmed just so that we could watch it. And that's the way
Yeah.
all of my old stuff, was now, if I meet someone, sometimes I'll record something spontaneously, but sometimes I'll be like, hey, if you want this to happen, we're filming it. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like now
sign right here.
I'm not wasting this blowjob or this fucking sexual experience without making some fucking content out of it. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
So when you start, like, what prompted you to start the OnlyFans?
Well, being in the lifestyle, the whole content creation thing really took off right around COVID. When you say that's when everybody went crazy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I couldn't do any of it because of my corporate job. I was vice president of my company. So there was none of that for me. And so it sucked because I would go to all the lifestyle for a while. And I think it's kind of come back a little bit, but it really turned into basically a content creation party.
Yeah.
And so for me, like, I couldn't do any of that because I would film stuff, but I never put it out there. Right. So, and I didn't want to basically be in anybody else's videos where I couldn't show my face or I couldn't do this or that. And I didn't have an OnlyFans. So I finally was just like, I'm done with this. Let's do it. And so, I mean, it's funny. Like when I filmed my first scene, which was in, I think, May of last year, like my first mainstream scene, I still didn't even put my boobs on Twitter, like not even my boobs. And I remember when the first, like, I don't remember which one it was like Hot Mills Fuck or something. Yeah, Hot Mills Fuck. And all of a sudden I saw the trailer and put it on Twitter. I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, that is out there now. I'm like, and all of a sudden,
that's awesome. What did that feel like to see the full blown trailer? Were you like, oh shit, or were you like, oh shit?
I was like, oh shit, totally.
That's so great.
It's funny though. That was a really great experience, but I was kind of nervous. But they made it. They were so great, and Tyler was so great. Like that whole group that runs that was amazing. They kind of specialize in your first, like that was my first mainstream scene, and that's kind of what they do. Whether it's just first scene altogether, or maybe your first anal or something like that. But they made it such a great experience. But it was a long day.
Yeah, I bet. Jesus. Yeah.
It was so funny though, because they filmed it in it was like a condo, right? Someone's condo that I think they actually live there. And I'm really, really loud when I come, like loud. And I kept getting mad at me because I was like, I think I came like 5 or 6 times at least. And I was so loud. Like the guy actually came in from the other room. He's like, can you just keep it down? I'm like, we're filming a porn here. Like, I'm like, I can't. So I had to like really try to keep it down, but I come really loud. So
yeah,
I think the episode is called, I think they titled it, I'm a Screamer.
The fucking neighbors are like, oh my God, someone's getting murdered next door.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
No, that's awesome. I mean, and who would tell someone to be, you're shooting a porn. Like, why would you ever say, can you keep it down? That's fucking,
I know. It was really funny. Yeah. So I'm going to be doing my first anal scene very soon. So my agency Envision, who is awesome, by the way, Tiffany and Kristen. So they are looking for just the right spot for it. So really exciting. I'm doing some little videos on my, I'm going to start a little series on my OnlyFans as I get ready for my first anal scene. So everybody's on my VIP page is going to get to see a little BTS of daily videos and clips of me anal train. I said, get on the Taylor Vixen anal train.
Yeah, I mean, what a good promo that is. You know what I mean? And it people will you're taking them behind the scenes, like on the road to this anal thing. That's fucking,
it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Yeah. Well, hopefully it's not dread for the first time, but
Oh, you don't know who it's going to be yet?
Well, I haven't decided which studio it's going to be with yet. So I'm just looking for the right fit. So right fit, literally.
Yeah, you can't say anything on Sex Party without it sounding sexual. Trust me. I know,
right?
Whatever. Yeah, you're used to it. So you start doing OnlyFans, and then like at what point, like let's just reveal at what point, like how did the mainstream porn thing happen? Did they come looking for you? Were you like, fuck it, let's go all the way? I'm gonna email fucking Bang Bros, or like how did this happen?
Yeah, so I just I just found an agent in out when I lived in Florida. So that's kind of just someone that dealt strictly with Florida bookings, and so I just started booking for like my pervy family, Bang Bros, Touch My Wife, did some team skeet out there, and then decided to I got an agent for the West Coast, and so I just kind of moved over to that to do all of that, and so it just kind of blew up from there. So
Yeah.
so
No,
yeah, and Kieran just has been so great. He booked me for Brazzers, and so after I did that, it just really kind of like blew up, and so I've shot with them 4 or 5 times now. So
holy shit. Wow.
yeah,
Congratulations. That's awesome.
thank you. They're great.
Yeah.
They're a great company. They're a great company to work with. So
Yeah, I mean, legendary company, Brazzers. I mean, come on, it doesn't get any better than that at all. And you've been in for less than a year, like we said already. So, what kind of things have we done? Has it been just basically boy girl? Has it been boy girl girl? Has it been, you and 2 guys? Has there been any gangbang things happening? Will there be? I mean, all of the questions.
so I've only shot right now boy girl, and I've done a girl girl, and then I've done a couple threesomes with 2 girls and a guy, and then I just did my first boy girl girl, but it was more that was the mom swap that I talked about, so it wasn't really a true. I have not. So I want to do my first like boy girl threesome. Like now I'm ready. Let's do it. I want to do a blow bang. I want to do a gang bang. I really want to do a gangbang on what? I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's all coming in my first anal. I don't even know in which order all this stuff's gonna happen, but I'm totally ready. And I want to do one of the things I've seen. I want to do some cosplay stuff. So I've seen a couple really cool studios. So like you can be anybody you want. So I love, for me personally, like I love more of the feature acting. So I want to get into do some more. I love stuff that has more of storyline, and I actually get to do acting because I really enjoy that. So hopefully there'll be more feature stuff coming up for me.
So like what kind of stuff, when you're talking about like storyline cosplay, like do you have characters in mind that you'd want to play? Do you want to do like the action, like dirty cop kind of like fucking shooting guns and shit? Or like what do you like the most?
Yeah, I honestly, I want to do more, like just from my background, I want to be in an executive role, like a power executive role, whether it's like, I've got some really cool ideas. So like I've got one that's like a female record executive, with kind of a guy that's wanting to get in a band. So I've got that idea. Got a couple of really cool things. I want to do some sports stuff because I play golf and tennis and things like that. So I'd love to do some scenes, with regard to that. So there's one that's a men's golf tournament that I want to get into. So.
What's funny about what you just said was earlier in the interview, I was thinking to ask you, like, have you done like I'm the corporate boss who like gets taken over kind of a scene? But sounds like you're well on your way to doing something like that.
I've done some collab stuff, but I haven't done an official scene. So I really want to get into doing more. I really want to get into doing more of that. So I did a collab with Max Fills where he was my intern. So that's on my site. So that's going. He's great. So he's great to work with. So I love Max.
Yeah. Do you think that like, and maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but do you think the DP, the anal, the gangbang, the fucking crazy cosplay, like, more storyline stuff, do you think this all happens this year in 2025, or do you think it'll be more 2026?
It's happening. I have not. Okay, so I have not done DP. Like, haven't actually ever done it. So, like, I'm so excited about that. But we got to start with anal, right?
That would be a good idea to start there. And I'm sure you'll be great. And then you can move on to, I mean, like I've had this conversation with so many people on the show and they're like, okay, once I did that and felt an orgasm that way. And then DP, it's like, oh my God, now I'm addicted. And oh no, gangbang. And so
I've heard a lot of people say that.
Well, I think it's a really beautiful thing. And it's really, and people don't think about this, but you guys, especially women, well, men too, but for the women, like you get to enact these amazing, like wild fantasies that all women have, but in a safe, contained environment. And here's the kicker, with pros, right? Like with well hung dudes who are like also like are not there to like, you know, get drunk and fall down on the potato chips or whatever. Like they're there to fucking to bang it out and do it in a way that you feel safe. So that's fucking awesome, you know?
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, this is it's funny that some of my fans started doing these posts on Twitter, and they were using the hashtag Vixen Army and the year of Vixen. So yeah, it's going to be a big year for me. So I'm going to try to get as many firsts as I can knocked out this year.
Oh, well, that's, I mean, for year 2, that's fucking giant. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I do want to chat with you a little bit. We mentioned it before we started recording, but you were nominated for some awards in your first fucking year. And these were either some or all were fan awards, which is even more of like a huge deal. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So I got nominated for 2 XMAs, fan awards, MILF Performer of the Year and New Performer of the Year, which was amazing. And my first AVN nomination, obviously it would be my first since I've only been in the industry a very short time, but it was just really cool because the fan awards, your stuff isn't even out, you know, takes even sometimes a month or longer. Some of my stuff is not been out since I started in the industry, is not out yet. So to be nominated for that is so cool. It's such an honor coming from the fans. So thank you all. hopefully lots more this year. So.
Oh, that sounds like they have a lot more to look forward to this year. What was your experience like on the red carpet at AVN this year?
Well, after all the wardrobe battles with everybody that they had at AVN, I was worried about my dress being too see-through. I mean, the whole time there, I was always just worried about, am I wearing enough clothes? Because I did get harassed by the casino a little bit, but I think everybody did. So got through it, but it was great. It was such a great experience. AVN was so fun. The fans were great. The red carpet was a blast. So it was cool. It was cool walking through the casino and having all the photos taken and all the fans, like, because you don't see that anywhere else. They do it differently, and I think they do it differently every year. But the way that they had the kind of snake through the casino and they had the fans kind of lining up on either side of the red carpet was really neat. So. Yeah,
AVN always knows. This is my first AVN too, and I was lucky enough to work the red carpet, and yeah, it was insane. And they as a company, like they just like blow it out. Like they know how to do it. I feel like I've been Oscar adjacent in Hollywood. I've been like to events and things around I've never gone to the Oscars, whatever, but AVN felt even more well planned and taken care of than even some of the events that I had been to like around the Oscars. And so it's like, yeah. So hats off to fucking them. And I already can't wait until next year. Will you be doing like the exoticas and that stuff for fans to look forward to, or like what?
Yeah, I will be in Chicago. So anybody that wants to come see me, I will be there. So don't know exactly where I'm going to be signing it. Still working out the details, but I will have my brand new fresh fleshlight that just launched. So I'm going to be promoting that within the next couple days. I'm just waiting for the last graphics, but it's already for sale online. So I will be putting something on Twitter in the next couple days. I'm waiting for my actual product to get here. So I wanted to wait for the actual product so that I could take some photos with it rather than just putting the promo images up. So I'm excited. I'll have it at Exotica with me so people can order it from there.
Well, that's amazing because I'm in Chicago. We're going to obviously all of the shows, but Exotica Chicago feels extra special to me this year. So we'll make sure that we get a little man on the street interview with you there. When you get your own fleshlight in the mail, I'm sorry, go ahead. What were we going to say?
No, I was going to say I'll have new Vixen Army hats and t-shirts so people can get them there.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. When you get your fleshlight, this is a copy of your own vagina. What's the first thing you do to it? Just stick your fingers in to see what it feels like, or what? See, and then you could turn around and sell that picture or video to whoever the fuck. What a mind fuck that is. That's awesome. Congratulations on that. That's a big deal. Yeah. Okay. So they know where to find you there. everybody go to her, go get your tickets to Exotica now. Be prepared for AVN next year.
Yeah.
The fleshlight is coming. But in closing, because we're here at the end of the episode, if you could just like snap back into where you were before all this madness started, right? And you've had a lot of success. You're incredibly fun to talk to in person. The brief interactions that I've had, you've been an amazing guest on this episode. I'm already ready to have you back. I could talk to you for another hour, but like before all this started and you were frustrated and or unhappy, right? If you could put yourself back in those shoes for a second and just think like there's another woman out there. There's many out there that are just unhappy with their sex life. They're unhappy with the way that their life is going. They want to make a change. They want to start to do more sexual things or whatever. Maybe there's some men that are like, that need some motivation. What advice would you give someone who does feel repressed and feels like they can't talk to anybody about it, especially their partner? Like, what would you say?
I would say just first thing to do is just start exploring your fantasies if you have any. A lot of people, most people have them. You know, think about what makes you happy. Think about what turns you on. Think about, you know, if you weren't in whatever your situation, what you would do, how you would change it. And you know what? Be open with, if you are in a committed relationship that you want to stay in, you know, be open about talking to your partner about trying new things. And the one thing I'd always say, this is kind of what I live by, is that no one, and this is my husband told me this, and now it's like gospel to me. No one looks back on their life when they're old and too old to be doing this, right? Or whatever, or on their deathbed and says, gosh, I wish I hadn't done this. I wish I hadn't done that. It's always the stuff that they wish they had tried. It's always like, oh, why didn't I be more this? Or why didn't I try this crazy stuff when I had that opportunity? So, you know, make the opportunities to just live life. You know, you're going to regret some of them, but I guarantee you're not going to regret the fun ones. You know, it may be crazy and you may have people judge you, but what I would say is that if you could take this society's stigma out of stuff, if we're talking about sex stuff, right? Take the stigma out of it and say, okay, if people weren't going to judge me, if I wasn't worried about people finding out, judging me, putting me down, my family making fun of me, what would I do? Because if you can take that out, then it really opens you up to be able to really start exploring your fantasies, because some people can't get past that judgment because they feel like they have to tell everybody everything they're doing, and they don't. But some people can't get past that societal judgment to just let their mind explore, and then obviously let their bodies like explore some of this fun stuff that they've always wanted to do. So, you know, that's what I would say.
God damn. Taylor Vixen, thank you so much for being on Sex Party. That was incredible advice. Yeah, I absolutely love everything that you said. Awesome. And they will too. Let's tell these fun, horny, party-going people where they can find you online, your social media, but more importantly, where they can find you, you know, on your OnlyFans, Fansly, Loyal Fans, and just take like, you know, briefcases full of cash and dump them out on you.
Yeah. So my Twitter is probably the best place to get all my links. All my links are on there. It's just Taylor _ and then Vixen, but Vixen has 2 X's. You can also go to taylorvixen.com with 2 X's. 2 X's, people. I'm still working on my website, but a lot of my links are there. So that's probably the best 2 ways to find me. My OnlyFans is easy. I have a free page, Taylor Vixen free, all one word, and then Taylor Vixen. So which is my VIP page, which you get a lot of behind the scenes. I've got Fansly, Loyal Fans, Playboy. They're all just Taylor Vixen. Nice. Pretty easy to find me.
Nice.
So I'm working. Hopefully my website will be revamped in the next month. That's my biggest priority. I've got to find someone that just help me get it going. So
yeah. No, well, awesome. I've enjoyed this so much. Yeah. I can't wait to have you back in the future. I'm sure I'll see you at Exotica, but until then, like, thank you so much for being with me this week.
Thanks for having me. Bye, guys.
Big thank you to my guest, Taylor Vixen, for being with me on the show this week. If you are loving guests like Taylor, you want to see more like her, she will be back. Make sure you guys go check out everything she is doing on her social media. But more importantly, go check out her OnlyFans, Fansly, Loyal Fans. Go buy some content. Enjoy yourselves. Tell her Sex Party sent you. But if you're loving this show as much as you're loving the guests, and you want to make sure you never miss a new episode, you never want to miss a party every single Wednesday, how do you show that desire? How do you show that love? How do you show that appreciation, right? Well, if you're listening to this on platforms like Apple and Spotify, you could leave a rating, you could leave a review, but honestly, I think you're wasting your time. I would appreciate it. I would read it 10 times. It would mean a lot to me. But what you really want to do is make sure you subscribe to the show so you never miss a new episode every single Wednesday. If you're watching on YouTube, I love you. I see you. I appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube, would you, if you felt repressed, or maybe you do feel repressed in a relationship, would you say something, or would it take you a long time to work up the courage to say something, or would you just end the relationship? Let me know what you would do in the comments, and we'll go back and forth. If you're watching on YouTube, what can you do to make sure you never miss a new episode and also show some appreciation? Well, you could like this video. You could like all the videos. You can leave comments, positive or negative. I will engage. We will go back and forth. It'll be a blast. But you want to make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss a brand new episode every single Wednesday. As always, I'm available in the DMs on Instagram, and I will see you all right back here next week.
Thanks for listening. The party continues next week. Click subscribe and let's make this a regular thing. Follow the show on Instagram and Twitter @SexPartyFM. Follow Dustin @DustinRybka.